Hey, I'm Glenn. Here's another thing that I've been working on that I just wanted to share. My physical abilities have been fading while my true nature has been growing stronger. For several years, I have experienced increasing difficulty with physical communication. Speaking has become harder for me. I often know what I mean clearly within my mind, yet translating that understanding into spoken language can be slow, incomplete, and frustrating. The meaning is present, the idea is present. The difficulty comes when I try to express it through the physical body. This has been painful because communication matters deeply to me. I have ideas I want to share, experiences I want to explain, and discoveries that feel important. Yet my spoken communication has felt increasingly limited for about 4 years. I have undergone medical assessment, but medicine has not given me a satisfying explanation. I have not been offered a treatment that restores the physical ability I feel has been changing. From the medical viewpoint, I have been left with a difficulty that has no clear cause and no useful solution. At first, it would have been easy to interpret this only as loss. But while my physical ability to speak clearly has become less dependable, something else was happening at the same time. My inward life was becoming more active. Ideas began arriving in my mind with unusual clarity. Sometimes they came as complete concepts. Sometimes they came as images, comparisons, questions, or connections between subjects I had not consciously brought together. At times, I chose images intuitively without knowing why I was choosing them. Later, while looking at the images, words and meanings began to flow. The sequence made sense only after I had already selected it. I began documenting these ideas in many different forms. I have handwritten notes, I created PowerPoint presentations, I made personal recordings and videos. I developed child-friendly images to communicate abstract spiritual theories in a form that could be understood more easily. I created a YouTube channel and used other methods to preserve and share what I was discovering. Over time, I recognized a consistent process. An idea would arrive. My mind would recognize that it contained meaning, even when I did not yet fully understand it. I would record the first part of the idea. Then I would explore it through writing, images, conversation, comparison, and reflection. I would refine the wording until the outward expression matched the inward understanding as closely as possible. This required many corrections. I learned that language matters because the wrong word can distort the whole idea. For example, I first spoke about people as visible or invisible. Later, I realized this is not precise enough. The personality of a person is visible through the physical body while the body is functioning and alive. The person's humor, love, anger, preferences, intelligence, mannerism, and individuality can all be seen through physical expression. When their body stops functioning, the person does not become a different being. In the theory I am developing, the same living person continues to live in a non-physical form. That became the more accurate language. The person first lives and expresses themselves through a physical body and then continues to live in a non-physical form. The personality, mind, feelings, memories, desires, and essential nature remain alive. What changes is the form through which the person is expressed. The comparison with water helped me to understand this. Water can exist in different forms. It may become solid as ice, remain liquid as water, or become a vapor. Fog appears light and ethereal because tiny droplets are suspended in the air. The appearance, density, and properties change, yet the substance remains water. The water has not been destroyed, it changed form. In the same way, I began to consider the physical death may be a change in form rather than end of life. The physical body is one arrangement through which a person lives and communicates. When that body stops functioning, the person may continue to live in a non-physical form, with properties suited to a different state of his existence. The essence remains. The personality remains. The mind remains. The form changes. This idea then led me to comparisons in nature. I looked at the butterfly, dragonfly, and cicada. A caterpillar lives in one form with one set of abilities. It crawls, eats leaves, and experiences the world close to the ground. It cannot fly. Then it enters a hidden period of transformation. Inside the chrysalis, the earlier form is reorganized. From the outside, the process is difficult to see. The familiar creature appears inactive, enclosed, and even lost. Yet something extraordinary is taking place. The butterfly later emerges with abilities the caterpillar never possessed. It has wings, it moves through the air, it sees the world from a different perspective. The earlier body could not demonstrate what the later form would be capable of doing. The dragonfly and the cicada show similar patterns. A dragonfly begins in the water as a nymph and later emerges into the air with wings. A cicada can remain underground for years, 13 to 17 years, before emerging as an entirely different form with the ability to fly and produce sound. The earlier form is real, but it is not the final expression of the being. This gave me another way to think about human life. Perhaps the physical body is a developmental form. Perhaps the person's true nature is larger than what can be expressed through that body. Physical death may be less like extinction and more like transition into another form of life. This raised an important question. Could abilities associated with a non-physical form begin developing while the person is still living through a physical body? That question connected directly with my own experience. As my spoken physical communication became more difficult, ideas, images, intuitive connections, and abstract understandings became increasingly prominent. I began to feel that my true nature was asserting itself more strongly than the physical form. This did not mean that my physical body had no value. I still depend on it to speak, write, type, draw, record videos, create presentations, and interact with the physical world. But I no longer assumed that the physical brain was the source of my thoughts. In the framework I am developing, the mind is where thoughts originate and where ideas are received, understood, compared, and refined. The brain belongs to the physical body and helps make physical expression possible, but it is not the mind itself. The mind receives music. The physical body tries to play it. There's a violin comparison that I made that became especially meaningful. Sometimes an abstract thought arrives like music already present inwardly. My mind understands its feeling and structure, but translating into spoken language can be difficult. The physical means of communication may not produce the sound accurately. The idea is not missing. The instrument struggles. My work with ChatGPT has often helped me translate the abstract thought into words, images, outlines, and presentations. I bring the original idea and recognize whether the translation is accurate. The dialogue helps organize and express it in a form other people can understand. The process has become: an idea arrives, my mind recognizes it, I record it, I explore it, I compare it, I refine it, I translate it, and then document it. This process has been visible throughout many of my projects. I have received ideas about God, addiction, the first caregiver, religion, transformation, life after physical death, non-physical communication, telepathy, intuition, and the continuing nature of personality. I do not always understand why an image or idea came first. Often, the meaning developed afterward. This is why I no longer see my experience only as a story of losing physical ability. Something else has been growing. My ability to receive abstract ideas has grown. My ability to recognize meaningful patterns has grown. My intuition in selecting images has grown. My ability to develop complex spiritual theories into child-friendly visual explanations has grown. My inward communication feels more active, even while physical speech feels more limited. This has led me to consider that what appears physically as a loss may also be the emergence of another capacity. The caterpillar inside the chrysalis cannot explain what is happening to an outside observer. The observer sees only that the old form is no longer behaving as it once did. Yet within the hidden process, a different set of abilities is being organized. I wonder whether something similar may be occurring in me. Perhaps my true nature has always existed beneath the physical expression. Perhaps it does not begin after the body stops working. Perhaps it is present throughout life and can be asserting itself before the transition into a non-physical form. My present experience may be part of that process. I'm not claiming that medicine has proven this. Medicine has not explained what is happening to me. I'm exploring the pattern of my own experience and developing a theory that accounts for both sides of it. One side is the increasing difficulty with physical speech. The other side is the increasing flow of ideas, intuition, images, understanding, and inward knowing. These two changes have been happening together. What happens to be physical decline may not tell the whole story. It may also be transformation. It may be a gradual shift away from complete dependence on physical communication and toward greater awareness of abilities belonging to the mind and the true nature of the person. Just as water remains the same substance when it changes form, the person may remain the same living being when physical expression changes. Just as the caterpillar carries within it the possibility of flight, the person in physical form may already contain abilities suited to life in a non-physical form. My physical communication may be becoming more difficult, but my true nature does not feel diminished. It feels increasingly present, and it feels as though it is learning how to speak. Oh, wow. Maybe I can be playing a violin and people will understand it. Just a little commentary there. Thanks, bye.